evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Town Council of the Town of Morristown. Today is Tuesday, June 11th, 2024. Margot, please take it away.
For the benefit of the public, I will take another roll call. Councilwoman Foster, here, welcome. Councilman Iannacone.
Here.
Councilwoman Lindsay. Here. Councilman Flipchuk.
Here.
Councilman Russo.
Here.
Councilman Silva.
Present.
Council President Umbreak.
Here.
Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Can we please pause for a moment of silence? Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have just one item on the consent agenda this evening, and that's the approval of the minutes from the May 28th, 2024 Town Council regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
You, Councilwoman Foster? Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Flipchuk?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
And Council President Umbreak?
Yes.
Motion carries. At this time, we have two items actually, or one item for public hearing tonight. I will open the floor for public comment on the adoption of the 2024 municipal budget only. Anybody have comments? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing on the 2024 municipal budget. I will now open the floor for public comment on any matter. When you are called upon, please approach the microphone, state your name and address, and limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. Be advised that any derogatory comments targeting members of council or administration may be ruled out of order.
Mr. Burns.
Good evening. My name is Bill Byrne, and I live at 100 Franklin Street. So what I like to do, I sort of changed it around a little bit in my head. I like to welcome Councilwoman Sheba back. It's really nice to have her back, and I missed her dearly. And I stayed up all night and said the rosary, and I called the 700 Club to pray for her. So just want to say thank God, it's a miracle she's here, alive and well. And so I'm looking to see you at the Jazz Festival. I give her a dance. Thank you.
Thank you. The gentleman in the back, police officer in the back. Lieutenant in the back. Yes, sir.
Good evening. Mike Molnar, Morristown Police, 200 South Street. I'm here representing PBA Local 43, and as I have done several Junes in the past, I'm joined with Dave O'Hare from the Garden State Comic Fest. Mr. O'Hare has graciously allowed us, the PBA, to give something back to the public. Each year we get a talented artist to donate some art piece. We turn it into a print, and we give it out free to all the first 150 spectators that come to the show. Also this year I have our artist, Fernando Ruiz. He's known for working on Archie Comics. He's worked with Dynamite and Dark Horse. He now works for full-time at the Cougar School in Dover, where he is the admissions academic supervisor. Yeah. And he's also an instructor as well, and he shares his talents with all the new up-and-coming artists. So this year, Fernando has done Amazing Spider-Man. You, council members, and Mr. Mayor, Ms. Barrett, will get the first prints available. Mr. Ruiz has also signed and remarked them for you as well. So the show's coming up June 22nd, 23rd at Menace Sports Arena. It's the 10-year anniversary, so a lot of good things going on. Dave could add a little bit to that. With your permission, I'll give you the prints.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. While he's giving out the prints, I'll just say a couple words. I'm Dave O'Hara, the owner of Garden State Comic Fest. This is our 10-year anniversary and our 10 years in Morristown. We are so excited to be back here again. We want to stay here forever. We've always loved doing it for the community here. Growing up in Morris County myself, this means a lot to me. So, yeah, that's it, basically. Happy to be here, and we got some great guests coming in this year, including Tony Todd from the Candyman series, and Albert Bouchard from Blue Oyster Cult, not to mention Hector Camacho Jr. He's coming in to represent his father, Hector Macho Camacho. He did a superhero book about his dad being a real-life superhero, so he'll be at the show signing copies of that. So, you know, this show is going to be something special, being that it's 10 years. And we wanted to give out some tickets and prints, and hopefully you guys want to come out and check it out. That's about it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Lieutenant.
Mr. Vitolo.
Good evening, everyone. Frank Vitolo on behalf of Uma Flowers. The Town Council should vote no on Resolution R-107-2024. The resolution states that the Morristown Cannabis Advisory Board issued a report recommending that UMA's municipal license be revoked. However, that report was never provided to Uma Flowers. We have never seen it. Therefore, Uma Flowers has no idea what the grounds for revocation of its license are. The Cannabis Advisory Board meeting was not public. We were not notified that a meeting occurred. There was no notice of the meeting published, and neither UMA or the public were allowed the opportunity to participate. I do these approvals all over New Jersey. Cannabis Advisory Board meetings are public meetings. The resolution for your consideration this evening doesn't even set forth a single reason why you're denying their annual renewal. Zero. Stating that the denial is based on a report from the CAB, which we in the public have never seen, means nothing. Uma Flowers state license is in good standing. It has not violated any provision of the code. It has violated no law. The only thing Uma has done is diligently pursued town approvals and tried to get its building permit. The town has been a partner with UMA throughout this process. When the town asked for updates, we provided them. When an issue arose, we worked with the town to resolve it. The town issued building permits for UMA to build its facility. Why issue the permits if you're going to revoke the license? We attached to our letter on June 7th pictures of the building being built. After all of this work, millions invested, satisfying all the hurdles, after all of this, now the town wants to revoke the license? Respectfully, council members, this makes zero sense. If the concerns delay, does the CAB and the council believe that by revoking the license, Morristown is going to get cannabis more quickly? By starting from scratch? The answer is no. In April, the New Jersey State Cannabis Regulatory Commission eliminated the requirement that a retail cannabis business become operational within 1 year. Why? Because the CRC knows the difficulties that cannabis businesses have winding their way through local approvals process, and that there's a tight credit market. Morristown can't create a more restrictive timeline than the state CRC. When the town approved the project, everybody who was paying attention knew that the proposed location posed challenges. The property is on a former gas station, adjacent to JCP&L, on the banks of the Whippany River. Of course there's been challenges. A JCP&L easement needed to be dealt with, NJDEP approvals needed to be obtained, and that's just two complications. But it overcame all of these challenges. And the dispensary is being built right now. We have no idea why this is happening. The town council has other less destructive means of addressing the delay here. For example, it could put conditions on the renewal. Tonight, you're going to have 3 or 4 liquor license renewals up. They all have conditions. They have some strict conditions. Why not apply the conditions to this license and key them to the construction schedule? If they don't meet the conditions, you could suspend the license. Instead, you're taking a sledgehammer to this license. And we are completely, honestly, in the dark. Carry this resolution to the next hearing. See if UMA can work out some conditions with the CAB and the council. What harm could that possibly cause to Morristown? 2 weeks, let's work something out. Ladies and gentlemen, that is rational and it's reasonable. Revoking the UMA license on the record that you have before you tonight, that is irrational and it's unreasonable. You're going to hear comments tonight from UMA, their land use attorney, the property owner, and the general contractor. I appreciate you listening, and please, let's do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vitolo. Good evening, my name is Todd Goldberg, 6 Arbor Way, Morristown, New Jersey. I am the managing member of 100 Ridgedale LLC, the property owner of 100 Ridgedale Avenue, the approved location of the UMA Flowers NJ dispensary in Morristown. I respectfully request that the town council vote no on resolution R107-2024. Since we do not understand the grounds for revocation, I would like to address the following potential issues related to the project. Since the town of Morristown began the process of awarding a local license for retail cannabis, we have been working closely with UMA Flowers NJ to navigate the extensive and complicated process of receiving all approvals to become operational. It has always been in all parties' interest to be operational as quickly as possible. All parties have and are continuing to work closely to overcome obstacles related to this effort. We all continue to be committed to fulfilling our obligations to the town and the community and want to complete construction as quickly as possible. We believe 100 Ridgedale Avenue is the best location for this operation and will provide significant benefits to the municipality. The site will be a state-of-the-art retail facility, customized for cannabis retail. The site is on a major road near a highway exit, enabling easy access for customers with minimal disturbance to surrounding neighbors. The site plan, which was approved by Morristown's planning board, includes access to 38 parking spots. This is a substantially higher number of parking spots available than other local applications reviewed by the CAB. Additionally, building permits have been released and we are already under construction. The finished product will be a major upgrade from the former Sam's Automotive site. When combined with the adjacent Morris Brick and Stone building at 94 Ridgedale and the future improvements at the First Energy substation, Ridgedale Avenue will have hundreds of feet of high-quality frontage with thriving local businesses offering major improvements to today's landscape. I would also like to clarify local participation should that be an issue. There may be a perception that Morristown gave the local license to people from out of state and that the town should have awarded to someone from the local area. I want this council to know that it does not get more local than our family. We have owned and operated businesses in Morristown for 3 generations, spanning over 85 years. Most notably Morris Brick and Stone, which holds an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and employs over 25 local people, many of which live in Morristown. Our connection to the community runs deep as we own multiple properties in town. Our children attend the Morris School District, and we have a long commitment of volunteering
and supporting local organizations in the Morristown area. As I'm sure the council can appreciate, this unique opportunity has and continues to require a substantial investment of time and money for everybody involved. We each remain committed to working together and opening the location, time being of the essence. We are confident that Uma Flowers NJ is a qualified operator, and the fastest way to open cannabis retail in Morristown is to stay the course. We kindly request that this council extend the license renewal so we can accomplish our goal of opening and continuing operations at 100 Ridgedale Avenue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good evening. Luke Pontier of the law firm Day Pitney, here tonight on behalf of 100 Ridgedale LLC and as land use counsel for this project. I reiterate those before me in requesting this council to vote no on Resolution R-107, 2024. It goes against the most basic principles of due process that Uma, the property owner 100 Ridgedale, and the public are left in the dark about the contents of the Cannabis Advisory Board report that this council is relying on to vote no on in denying a renewal of the permit to operate here. After quickly responding to each request by the town for information, the applicant and the property owner are now blindsided this evening by a resolution of denial on the agenda, when work is literally underway to construct the building as we speak, and both the applicant and the property have expended significant time and money to make sure that this project goes forward. The CAB and this council have known that the project is a ground-up development, which inherently takes more time. This council zoned the property for cannabis use and then decided that this location and this applicant were the best opportunity to bring a retail cannabis dispensary to Morristown. That remains the case today. This is a large project that requires a review and approval of many different public agencies. From a land use perspective, and similar to Mr. Vitolo, I do work in land use throughout the state, this project is moving at an expected pace. UMA provided a timeline of events to CAB and to the council in correspondence that was dated May 24th, and I'd like to just reiterate a few of those important dates that you can understand that this project is moving at a good pace. No matter when a project receives approval from the local land use board, there's several other steps that the project needs to obtain before it can actually proceed with construction. All the outside agency approvals must be obtained, and then the planning board's professionals must opine that the applicant has met all of the conditions that are placed on the site plan approval. With respect to outside agency approvals, NJDEP, the Department of Environmental Protection, is always a long lead time, especially when you have a project up against a river as we do here. So despite receiving approval from the planning board in March, DEP approval did not come in until July. There are other outside agency approvals, such as the Soil Conservation District, where you can't even make application until you have your DEP approval in hand. So once we had our approval in July from DEP, we quickly submitted to the Soil Conservation District. We received our certification from them in September. Right after receiving both the certification and then we had our DEP approvals, we submitted back to the planning board to address resolution compliance and to confirm that we had addressed all of the conditions of our approval. However, we did not get official confirmation from the board itself and its professionals until December, the end of last year, that we had in fact addressed all of our resolution compliance and that we could proceed. Promptly at that point, UMA submitted its applications for both demolition and building permits, and we did receive those earlier this year, just a few weeks ago, as you heard. As of today, the prior buildings have been demolished, the site has been leveled and graded, and the foundation has been poured. There are millions of dollars in investment into this project and into this town. The project is full steam ahead. Why does this council want to thwart that progress and start all over? The project clearly remains this town's best option to have a cannabis dispensary at a great location in town. Starting over with a new applicant will only delay the opening of any cannabis business. Please do what is right and what is best for this town and vote no on Resolution R-107, 2024. Thank you.
Are you with UMA as well?
Yeah, I'd like to speak.
Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you.
My name is Robert McCarthy. I'm the Vice President of Hoyer and Company, a third-generation commercial building contracting firm based in Waldwick, New Jersey. And I respectfully request the Town Council vote no on Resolution R 107, 2024. I was assigned to be the project manager of the demolition and redevelopment of the project at 100 Ridgedale Avenue in August of 2023. Since that time, my team of administrators, site superintendents, third-party professionals, and trusted trade contractors have supported the efforts to get all the documents and approvals required to do what we were initially hired to do: remove an existing building and build a new one with complete site improvements in its place. The directive from my clients, Uma Flowers, in August of 2023 was and remains to assist in the approval process and to complete the construction work with a high degree of quality, by the book, and as soon as possible. To that end, they have supported me fully by means of direct daily communications, weekly team conference calls with agendas, minutes, and most importantly, with a substantial deposit to ensure that there would be no delays related to the lack of funding to get things substantially underway. Let me just add that in all my time, no client has pre-funded a project in this manner to help accomplish its completion. They had further engaged our firm to provide additional services related to plan revisions that were required because of feedback from the reviewers after entering the process of obtaining the various approvals. In all my years of experience, the only thing I could say for certain is that the process is unpredictable and challenging. Although our experience tells us that we will likely come across the occasional unforeseen condition that could delay the work, we can never predict accurately what they will be. Specifically, since January till now, we did and are currently dealing with several issues that only became known after further testing. To name a few: asbestos abatement prior to demolition, and soil conditions that required a massive excavation of the building footprint that further required new imported engineered fill before we even began work on the foundation. That fill will continue to be needed as we raise the pad to the subslab elevation, all of which our client understands are things needed to be done without hesitation. I'm personally further motivated to lead these efforts as our clients have been and continue to be fully supportive and trusting of my leadership role, something I hold in high regard. I'm pleased to report this last week that we received approval for the structure and the site work from JCP&L, an obstacle that was raised by the utility company at the last hour, which involved expedited re-engineering, coordination, and approval from their end. This setback resulted in us having to hold on substantial work despite completing the demolition and with the approval of our building permit. With this latest approval, we are now moving forward with production on all fronts. The building foundation was poured today under the supervision of our site superintendent, Kevin Cannon, as planned, and we will continue to refine our schedule to ensure that we can take advantage of any time-saving sequence that we can create. And if you like, I have prepared a couple of photographs that I could share, just this morning's work in progress. I'd be happy to do that with your review. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Jeff, right?
Give you the official word. Yes, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Town Council of Morristown. I'm here this evening to ask, I'm sorry, could you please state your name and address? Yes, my name is Priyanka Patel, 2 Tarbell Street, Pepperell, Massachusetts. I'm here this evening to ask the Town Council to vote no on the resolution regarding UMA's license renewal. For those who do not know me, my name is Priyanka Patel. I am the founder, operator, and owner of Uma Flowers NJ LLC. It is not in my nature to be defensive or confrontational. However, it is important for me to set the record straight and clear the air on much that is being said and discussed about my company, me, and my family as a whole. When Morristown decided to allow adult use cannabis sales within its borders, it selected an applicant through an extensive and thorough RFP process. Following that process, Morristown chose us. From my background as a retail pharmacist for over 10 years and working in a tightly regulated industry, to our company's humble origins as a family-funded, female-led, and community-oriented business, coupled with the fact that we were experienced operators of Massachusetts dispensaries, we were best positioned to deliver a first-class dispensary to Morristown. In addition, our site was the only one that offered a state-of-the-art, brand-new facility, which was located in the ideal section of the town. However, since the moment we were awarded this license, there have been rumors and falsehoods spread about us. Everything ranging from us trying to politically influence the outcome of this process to our lack of funds to complete the project. I'd like to emphatically state that none of this is true. Since the day we were awarded the license, we have been working tirelessly to obtain the necessary approvals to complete this project. Along with our landlords, the Goldberg family, we successfully obtained site plan approval from Planning Board, approval from NJDEP, despite our close proximity of the Whippany River, approval from the State Cannabis Commission for our full cannabis license, agreement from JCP&L, which has an easement over the property, and satisfying the requirements of various Morristown departments for the issuance of a building permit. This process has been a lengthy and expensive journey. However, at no time have we slow-played this journey. When the town awarded us the cannabis license, it must have known that a new ground-up construction would take much longer to complete than an existing building. However, we both believed the town cared about the long-term upside and benefit of a new building, custom designed for this use, and how that benefits residents and future cannabis customers visiting Morristown. Regarding a perceived lack of funding, this is false and could not be further from the truth. Me and my family have taken on debt to complete this project, and our arrangement with our landlord is such that once demolition of the building takes place, we must build back the planned building regardless of the situation regarding cannabis licensing. For security to the landlord, we have deposited $2 million into an escrow account that was funded prior to demolition, which will be solely used for the purposes of construction. With each day and week that passes, we incur interest, as the funding of that escrow is from personal credit and home equity lines. We moved heaven and earth to ensure that UMA had more than $2 million in cash to building this project. There is no one here that is more incentivized to complete this project and become operational than me. Finally, after 2 years of constant work on this project, we are at a point where every approval needed to complete this project is in hand, and our general contractor, Hewer & Company, is working tirelessly to complete this project as quickly as possible. Just in the last 2 weeks, we have poured our foundation, and by the end of the month, steel will be installed and a building profile will come into shape. Why in the world would you try to revoke our license now? After working with us for 2 years and issuing a building permit only a few weeks ago, why did you issue building permits if you were going to revoke our license? It's wrong.
Ms. Patel, if you could finish up your comments, your 5 minutes are up.
Okay. Thank you. This is devastating to me and my family, just so you know, and we've done nothing wrong. Please vote no for this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else with UMA? No? Anyone else from the public? Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, on the left. Yes, ma'am. Ms. Barber. Dr. Barber.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Anita Barber, Tulip Lane Randolph, wife of William Barber Jr., and I'm here this evening with some members of the William Butchie Barber Way Celebration Committee regarding the ordinance for the honorary street naming for William Butchie Barber Way at the location of Flagler Street and Martin Luther King Avenue. I noted in reading your agenda ordinance printout for this meeting that it did not read that it is an ordinance amendment, but it certainly is unfinished business. I also noted that the sign location is identified as Flagler Street and Clyde Potts Drive. And it also stated in the whereases that Miss Betty Ann Bryant, committee chair, submitted an application to the municipal clerk's office for the honorary street naming to be at Flagler and Clyde Potts Drive, which she did after being told that her original request for an actual street renaming was not possible, even though renaming of the street has taken place, specifically in the 2nd Ward. It was then agreed by the committee that an honorary street naming sign would be the next approach. After being informed that the town had no ordinance for an honorary street naming for anyone, our initial request was used as a foundation to create one, which took nearly 2 years. The committee waited. At the beginning of 2024, our vision became a reality and an ordinance was introduced. Ms. Bryant contacted the municipal clerk on April 17th and requested that the honorary sign be located at the more appropriate location of Martin Luther King Avenue and Flagler Street for the reasons I shared in my statement presented by Mr. Tucker at your last council meeting. I share this information and raise the location question again because Ms. Bryant has received limited communication from the town regarding the committee request for change of sign location. But the request remains the same, that the location for the honorary sign for William Butchie Barber Way be appropriately placed at the intersection of Martin Luther King Avenue and Flagler Street. I thank you for your time and attention, and I truly hope that you understand and recognize the importance of this request.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Yes, Mr. Nace, come on up.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kristen Ace. I live at 24 Franklin Street, and I'm the chair of the Morristown Shade Tree Commission. This is our monthly report for you guys. But I'll let you know that we are, through the town, doing an awareness campaign for the invasive species ordinance that was voted into place in 2019. There will be a mailer sent out with a tax bill, and they'll be doing some blurbs on the Instagram site of Morristown. So this is just to raise awareness that there is an invasive ordinance in place. It is townwide, it is public and private. And if people have questions about why we need this in our town, please reach out to me. We are doing a poison ivy treatment in some of the parks this month. There will be Visionwood, Fritz Pond Wood, Bud Park, and Town Hall. Yeah. Poison ivy is big this year because of the weather, so we have to do, we probably have 2 days worth of work on that. We had a planting in Lidgewood Park at the Woodland Garden section of the park. We had Deloitte with Morristown Rotary come in for their impact day. They gave us $500. We planted 5 trees, a shrub, a vine, and 165 slugs. We cleaned up 10, 11 tree wells and mulched them. We still have more tree wells to do in all the parks, but because we had many hands, we could get some stuff done. We had a blast. They left feeling extremely happy, extremely tired, very dirty, but they want to come back. And also the Rotary is dedicated to creating the woodland garden all the way across the fence line, which was our plan. So we're super excited about that. Again, super proud and happy to work with our DPW. We literally cannot do this without them, and they're always there when we call them. council walkabout. I'm hoping that you're all going to join on August 1st, 6 o'clock, when we'll start in Fritz Pond Wood at the James Street side. Then we will take you over to Lidgewood and show you the gardens that I keep talking about. And our next meeting is next Tuesday on June 18th at 7 p.m., room 201. And if you guys have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me because I'm available. Thank you. Thanks for everything you guys do.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public that would like to speak? Mr. Armington, come on down.
Evening, Stephen Armington, 16 Cutler Street. I'd like to talk about the proposed noise ordinance. The noise ordinance revision deletes all the facts, all the scientific-based criteria about sound and noise, and replaces it with, it shall be unlawful for any person to make disturbing or unnecessary sound or noise. What is disturbing or unnecessary to a police officer may not be disturbing or unnecessary to me or to someone else. This is a highly arbitrary criteria that I believe is not defensible by the courts. And I'm frankly shocked that your town attorneys would believe that that is defensible. The New Jersey DEP Noise Control Act allows municipalities to adopt noise control ordinances that are more stringent than the state code. In 2021, the town adopted the state code, which is the model noise ordinance. And this ordinance that you're considering supporting is significantly less stringent than the state code. There are two types of noise violators in town. There's the one type, the one-time people, say me, having an Oktoberfest party, I got a band, it's 10 o'clock, I'm like, let's throw some more money at them, let's play another hour. Cops show up because my neighbors are complaining. There's no question about, is it a violation? Sure, it's a violation. I didn't think about it. I didn't talk to my neighbors. The cops say, whatever. There's no fine. There's nothing else. No issue. The other type of violator is the ongoing, long-time violator. It's the commercial properties that have the HVAC fans that don't comply with the town zoning code about noise for HVAC fans next to an apartment building, and they're blasting away, and there's just this hum and hum and hum. It's also the bars and the restaurants that 2 or 3 or 4 nights a week have amplified music, and they want to keep their windows and doors open, and it's all good except for the people next door are blasted out on a daily basis. The reason the town adopted the state's model noise ordinance in 2021 was because the prior ordinance, which is almost identical to what you're proposing today, doesn't allow the courts or the prosecutor to issue fines, because the defense attorney is like, that's totally arbitrary. You can't use that, and it's not in line with the state code. So, if you adopt the current code as it is now, as disturbing or unnecessary, you're essentially stripping the police department of any ability to change behavior through enforcement mechanisms, and you're giving a green light to any of the prospective violators to do whatever they want. I'd also like to touch briefly on the Uma Flowers thing. Prior to the RFP that went out, the council at the time adopted legislation which created 2 licenses for the dispensaries. At the time, one was medical, one was recreational. Doesn't really matter right now because it's all recreational. The RFP basically decided on one application, but that other application is in the stratosphere, and the council and the administration always have the ability to allow for essentially another application. So if your concern is fast tracking cannabis for the residents of Morristown to have a dispensary, you can always go that route. If you eliminate the dispensary here, but you don't move forward on the other one, I think you're further delaying it, and the perception is that you really don't want cannabis. You don't want the money that comes from cannabis, or whatever it is, but that's, up in the air. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Rob Tucker, 34 Jersey. I'd just like to start out by saying that was awfully sweet of Bill to mention Toshiba. I know Toshiba since she was a little girl. She's a sweetheart, and we just adore her, those of us that grew up with her family. That warmed my heart. But I just wanted to follow up on Dr. Barber in regard to the honorary sign of William Butcher Barber. And she mentioned something about a committee. We are pretty much nationwide. We're not just individuals coming up here winging it. Those that left the state, left us here in this litigious New Jersey state and moved abroad. But, we are a highly educated, conscious, critical thought group of folks. And in your voting or whatever summation you come up with, can you share deeper reasons other than the flooding? And some of our brainstorming, the cloud that's above our head, our consciousness as a group, we wonder, in our critical thought, we wonder why the pushback. We're wondering, is it some things beyond the flooding? Because there's development down there, there's a building going up. We're not a structure, we're just a street sign. The sign falls, you'd have to replace the sign anyway. So you could probably share a little deeper, because we're critical thinkers, heavy thinkers, very conscious. So are there other levels to this? Or is it the entity has to win versus the common folk? This may not be the case, but these are just some of the thoughts that arise. Just want to share that we are among some very conscious thinkers here. So let's hopefully we can put some finality to this. Because we did notice, as Dr. Barber mentioned, it still says Clapbox Drive. So hopefully you can share if there's any other levels to this besides the flooding. Thank you.
Anyone else from the public? All right, I'm going to close the session. Response from council. Yes.
Hi, I was just wanting to speak more on the Butcher Barber sign. And I know it's been a long time, but I'm gonna ask that the board look at a second sign on the end of LAK and Martin Luther King, Flatbush Street, so they're having one sign, and we go for a second sign.
Council President.
Yes, sir.
I don't mean to interject in the council discussions on their ordinance, because I don't have authority over this certain subject that was taken away from the administration some time ago. I had asked the attorney, is there any way to change this instead of saying, let's table this or stop it and go back and make another ordinance? And he said, yes, if you vote no on this ordinance, someone can bring up on the floor to change it right tonight and make that exactly where they want it and get it done with. I just don't see why we can't do that. So I want the attorney, wait, let the attorney explain.
Absolutely.
In case I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong, not wrong. What we can do is.
This was the debate at the last meeting.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but this doesn't have to keep going on.
I think we want to bring finality.
Ian's recommending.
Emotional debate.
That's this one, and then we'll put it.
No, I think we can do it better.
We can do it all tonight.
We can do it all tonight. Let's do it all tonight. We make a motion to amend, we move it, I'm sorry, the location is.
MLK and Flagler Street.
MLK and Flagler Street. We do a motion to amend, then we vote on second reading and pass it tonight. We can do that.
Fine. But you also gotta keep coming to meetings, cause I really don't see everybody here.
And stay in the whole meeting today.
And yeah, stay the whole meeting.
Whatever, before we go to the public comment section on the second item, well, that's the time to do the motion. I'm happy to walk, not to do that.
Thank you.
Okay.
You don't mind, I'm sorry for interjecting.
No, sir. Thank you. Okay. Any other responses to public comment?
I'd just like to thank my buddy Bill Burns and you, Robin, for the kind words and the level of sentiment. Bill, I know you call me all the time. You leave me 1 and 2 minute messages telling me how much you pray for me. And, my apologies for not, getting back. My voice is still, out of whack. And I'm just really starting to get to a point where I'm moving around a little bit more than I've been able to since August 18th of last year. But I do appreciate everybody, council members, you guys that came to see me, Margot for checking on me from time to time. And I've got to give my favorite mayor who's been with me through this whole process. And so I just thank everybody for the prayers. Please continue to pray for me because I'm not fully recovered yet, but I am, well enough to be able to be before you tonight. So it's good to be back, and thank you all again for the prayers and the well wishes. My family and I really appreciate it.
Very nice. Mr. Michello.
Councilman, thank you very much. I just want to just clarify the record on some comments that were made by Eva Flowers. The Campus Advisory Board received the request for renewal for the license on May 24th, about a week before the due date. The Campus Advisory Board met with haste, I believe on June 5th is the date. A report was issued immediately thereafter. That report is a public document to be requested by any member of the public. I have received no request from anyone for that report, but I'm happy to make it available to anyone who asks. It will also be made available by request of the clerk to an open request. So I just want to clarify that it is available and that no one can public. Thank you.
Okay. If there's no more comments, we'll move on to the report of the mayor and town officials.
Okay, well, let me just start off with Toshiba, not to offend anyone. Just to congratulate her on a great event she and her group threw on Our Youth, Their Future Saturday, well attended. And I can tell you that I actually see her at the gym exercising, and the recovery is a pure miracle. Prayers and faith are important. But putting in the work, as I learned a long time ago, faith without works is dead. If you're praying, you better have your feet moving. And I'm not going to start preaching, but that is factual. And I've seen in my own eyes how someone can recover from something that a lot of people never recover from. And she is sitting there, and you are looking at a true miracle. Leave it at that.
Thank you.
I'll start getting upset.
Don't make me cry.
Okay. June 8th, Our Youth, Their Future. It was a fabulous event, absolutely fabulous event. Monday, June 10th, we had a Budge Street Park meeting. I want to thank Councilman Chris Russo, Jillian Barrett, myself, and all the attendees that came out in the Budge Street area. It was well attended on some improvements that are going to happen on Budge Street. So it was a very, very good meeting, and it was great to see so many people that came out to the park. On Wednesday, June 12th, which is tomorrow, there's a senior summer picnic at Morristown Senior Center. So any of you seniors, which I am one now, we can come and enjoy our picnic at the Senior Center upstairs on floor 3 at noon. If you have any questions, you can call 973-292-6690, or obviously the Senior Center at townofmorristown.org. But if you're not doing anything tomorrow, come 12 o'clock. Kevin, you're welcome to come too if you want. Saturday, very important for the pet owners, free spring rabies clinic. People really do take advantage of this in Morristown. The free rabies clinic is from 11 to 1. If any questions, call 973-292-6731. That is Saturday, June 15th at 11 a.m. Free rabies, spring baby shot. Also, there is a celebration from 12 to 5 at the Heritage Collective. It's called Sankofa. Collective Juneteenth celebrations at Pioneer Plaza, which is the hardscape plaza between 1776 and Headquarters Plaza and Morristown Green. That's 12 to 5 celebrations on Saturday. On Tuesday, June 18th, Morristown High School senior graduation. So we want to congratulate the graduates. We won't be there for another meet, but I also wanted to give a shout out to the girls, lacrosse, who won the state championship. Before, I got to see them all yesterday briefly. Ran over to see them. They were all having pizza, and we're going to try to. Council President reached out and want to do something for him here. So we're waiting to hear back from the school, as we did once before. But that is a great accomplishment and a great ambassadors for Morristown. When people look to move to our community, they look at our school system, right? Most people look at our school system. Dr. Barbara's shaking her head because she's been in the educational world for a very, very long time. It's important when you have success in your schools, not just in the academic side, but also in the sports and different things like that. And when people see that, it's just a plus for our community to see, because we are a regional school with 3 towns, and it's great to see that the girls won the lacrosse. That's a tough thing to do. Congratulations to the girls lacrosse. Friday, June 21st, if you guys aren't doing anything, I know people work, but 11 a.m. we are cutting the ribbon at Shaka Kitchen. It's on South Street. If you haven't eaten there, it's really good. It's excellent. So it's on South Street. It's 62 South Street. It's 11 a.m. on Friday, and then long anticipated on June 25th at 10:30 a.m. the grand opening of Sweet Green Market. Now, Sweet Green Market is a market establishment out of Manhattan that has moved to the bottom of Deloitte building, and you're going to really like it if you like really fresh greens and fresh, healthy food. That's what Sweet Green will bring. That's at Tuesday the 25th at 10:30. And special announcement at the end of this, in concert with our business administrator and our CFO, I believe Frank's here. Morristown Hall now will be closed on June 21st in observance of Juneteenth, and that will now be a holiday for our town employees, along with the state and federal holidays. So Morristown now will enjoy the understanding and the reasoning why Juneteenth is now a holiday. And I want to thank our business administrator and CFO to make sure that we had the money in the budget to make that happen. So now that is an official holiday for the employees of the town of Morristown. And that is it. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. We'll move to other presentations and reports. We have the Special Improvement District budget presentation. Mr. Jeff Warren.
Hi everyone, how are you?
Good evening.
Hey.
Do you have a PowerPoint?
Absolutely.
I don't think it's.
Okay.
I just plugged it in. Oh. Oh, so then I have to work with yours. As long as it's a blue light, it'll come on.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hello everyone, I'm Jennifer Wang, the Executive Director of the Morristown Partnership. Tonight, well, we are a special improvement district, a nonprofit organization. There we go. Let me just get this slide I got three of them.
Jen.
I'll go to Jen.
Get your mic on.
Hello.
There you go. There you go. Good.
Good evening, my name is Jennifer Wary, Executive Director of the Morristown Partnership. The Morristown Partnership is a special improvement district and 501c3 nonprofit organization for downtown Morristown. We are committed to promoting Morristown's vibrant downtown through our long-standing initiatives and events that promote the business community, facilitate collaboration, and attract investment. For a more in-depth overview of our current programs and services, we encourage you to view our October 10th, 2023 Town Council presentation. We will link that information as well as tonight's presentation on our website for viewing after the meeting. First, to recap 2023, we are very proud of our positive impact on the business environment and community as a whole. Of particular importance, we furthered the process of amending the Special Improvement District Ordinance in collaboration with the Council. These efforts will continue in earnest this year. Financially, we increased event sponsor revenue by 14.4% from 2022 through corporate sponsorships, as well as increased participation revenue from our events, including Restaurant Week, the Farmers Market, and the Festival on the Green. In each case, we exceeded our budget projections. Notably, our Christmas festival underscored Morristown as a top holiday destination. A $70,000 investment in refurbishing the Santa House and holiday decor was funded privately by generous donors and foundation grants to the Morristown Partnership, signifying the importance of such events to the community. Our gift certificate program experienced a 3.8% sales increase in 2023. Through consumer sales and promotional gift certificates, we distributed over $100,000 to be spent at Morristown businesses. Branded gift certificate partnerships with notable organizations like the Morristown Airport greatly expanded the visibility of this program. Streetscape efforts included repairing and replacing over 80 lights, maintaining seasonal plantings, and coordinating major infrastructure repairs. Our marketing initiatives produced multiple business feature stories and garnered favorable media coverage. Internally, we transitioned to a new CPA firm and reduced our audit costs and onboarded new board leadership and members for effective governance. Many of them are here with me this evening. Our current board strategic planning goals for the organization are being managed via refined subcommittees and improved lines of communication. These steps collectively contributed to Morristown's growth in the past year and reinforced our recognition as a premier community to live, work, and do business. Tonight, we'll walk you through our proposed budget and the strategic initiatives that will drive our efforts in the coming year. In 2024, In 2024, we have several opportunities to further our mission, including significant allocations for capital expenditures, deferred maintenance, institutional capacity building, and new technology. All these areas are crucial for maintaining our SIDS infrastructure and services while also improving the downtown Morristown experience. As a result of our board's ongoing strategic planning efforts, the budget format and spending categories have been updated to align with the revised board committees as follows. Our total proposed budget for 2024 is approximately $2.1 million. 67% of this budget comes from the special assessment, while 33% is derived from such other sources as contributions, sponsorships, and event participation. We have maintained a fixed assessment rate of 10.5% of the total assessed value of a special improvement district property since 1994. This year's budget maintains that rate. However, as a result of increased property values determined by the municipal reevaluation, our assessment revenue is due to increase by approximately $800,000. This revenue will be allocated to key initiatives to improve our operational efficiency, ensure financial preparedness, and support both immediate needs and long-term goals like technology investments and capital improvements. As you can see, some of our major allocations are related to marketing and promotion at 32%, as well as 32% for general and administrative operations. The following major new allocation would be 14% of these dollars for reserve for tax appeals, as well as operations. There's also a significant expenditure for capital improvements. This budget reflects our commitment to Morristown's growth, ensuring operational efficiency, financial stability, and strategic investments for a vibrant community. It also aligns with the spending plan established in meetings with members of council and the board concerning additional assessments in the reevaluation process. Following these discussions, the board initially approved and prioritized these expenditure allocations at its June 14, 2023 meeting. The following slides are an overview of key budget allocations and additional investments beyond the annual expenditures. These categories are where we will focus on spending the additional revenue. This budget breakdown and category highlights for capital expenditures, we intend to improve on signage and flag hardware and site improvements. These items can contribute to the tangible and visible beautification efforts. With an allocation of $70,000 for banner and flag hardware and an additional $50,000 for site improvements such as fencing and welcome sign replacement, we can enhance the downtown feel and improve our outdated infrastructure. In addition, we have selected products that will reduce labor required for installation and removal. This can support programs like Motown Hero Veterans Banners and other community events. Next would be most significant projected lighting. Lighting plays a vital role in enhancing the safety and visibility of our community. Having led the streetscape improvements in Morristown for nearly 2 decades, we maintain a vast network of lighting fixtures that are nearing end of life or could be retrofitted with more efficient technology. Investing $100,000 in acquisition and maintenance will ensure a jump start for continued improvements over the long term. For the built environment, our investments in the built environment involve addressing postponed repairs and upkeep. Key projects include GFCI repairs, painting, and various ad hoc tasks related to our streetscape. General maintenance and landscape improvements are also included. Of note, a recent uptick in flyer postings on light poles using tape and glue has damaged the paint, requiring professional restoration in some cases. These efforts to restore our infrastructure to its former condition will ensure safety, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. In addition to regular networking events, our goal is to establish an annual meeting. Unlike typical social networking activities, this annual meeting will have a more structured format to facilitate efficient information sharing and gathering from the constituents. The aim is to create a more formal, organized, and transparent platform to address challenges, thereby assuring the strategic direction of the organization is up to date and real-time alignment with the business needs. This is the one I'm most excited about. We intend to invest in new resources for development, collateral materials, technology, and data. To drive innovation and ensure precise reporting in our development materials, we are prioritizing the acquisition of new technology and data. We have allocated $5,000 to collateral materials such as a market report and $20,000 for technology and data. An essential part of this investment is the Placer AI platform, which will provide detailed insights into district-specific trends in consumer behavior. This will enable targeted marketing efforts to support our strategic planning. With this resource allocation, we can not only deliver real-time reporting on the events on our events in the district, but also use data analysis to identify and seize potential opportunities. Some of the key benefits of this tool include understanding the true trade area and service area of our district, assisting property owners and business owners with market intelligence and analytics about visitation, where they visit and how long they stay, competitive insights on any other district in the United States with access to national data, and measuring event analytics and its impact on the district, which will be helpful in our reporting for return on investment. Leveraging this information will enhance our reporting to stakeholders, enable them to make more informed decisions regarding their investments in Morristown. In addition, the value-added insights to the district to provide the community at large, to include supporting our grant application processes through various methods. I recently had a community partner reach out to see if we had foot traffic data for in front of their venue, and with this tool, we'll be able to provide those things so they can get additional grant support. Marketing and promotion. This year we'll improve and expand our marketing efforts through partnerships and digital enhancements. One notable partnership already underway is with the Morris County Economic Development Alliance, which broadens our reach beyond the local area. This enables marketing in neighboring states and high traffic areas, mentions on billboards and TV advertisements, and a high profile ad on the back cover of the visitor guide. Additionally, it provides access to their data analytics and service with a dedicated marketing research personnel. This will help our reporting. Another partnership we have is formed with NJ.com and the Star Ledger. This provides both local and regional coverage of our community and events. To complement these efforts, we will also allocate funds to enhance the user experience on our website, ensuring visitors can quickly find information with compelling visuals. This digital enhancement aims to provide a seamless and engaging online experience, making it easier for users to learn about our downtown's events, activities, and business happenings. We have had a slight decrease in the public affairs and advocacy because we've made substantial progress internally with the ordinance amendment process, which anticipated to lead to a reduction in legal expenses. We are committed to retaining and attracting talent essential to our organization's success. Our goal is to align compensation with industry benchmarks while prioritizing employee well-being through competitive benefits packages. We are investing approximately $100,000 in supporting our team and its expansion. This year, $40,000 is allocated to hire part-time support staff and expand our internship program. For the first time in our organization's history, an additional $15,000 has been earmarked to establish a retirement plan for the employees. We're laying the foundation for sustaining talent and reinforcing our institutional capacity. Related to debt service, we currently have one remaining loan with the Department of Community Affairs, which is due in 2030. The original loan amount acquired in 2015 was $200,000 used to assist in financing streetscape improvements on Steele Avenue. As of January 1st, 2024, the remaining balance on this loan is $106,000 in change with an annual debt service payment of $13,333.33. And that is the only long-term debt that our organization currently has. We are proposed to establish two reserves. A tax appeal reserve is a strategic move due to the 2022 and 2024 Morristown reevaluation. To establish a fund for potential tax appeals, legal counsel recommended a minimum allocation of $200,000 at our March 13th board meeting. This measure also protects us against unforeseen financial difficulties when appeals are filed. The second reserve we'd like to establish is an operating reserve. It's vital to ensuring our financial stability and continuity of operations. It is recommended to set aside at least 3 months' worth of operating expenses. Therefore, we suggest an initial infusion of $100,000 to align with this guideline. Such reserves provide a safety net, allowing the city to weather economic downturns, revenue fluctuations, or unforeseen expenses without compromising essential services or projects. By adhering to best practices and maintaining an operating reserve, the city can demonstrate fiscal responsibility, enhance investor and donor confidence, and safeguard its ability to fulfill its mission. Additionally, it will provide an opportunity to explore special projects when they arise, such as grant opportunities that require matching funds. The next few slides are some data that we collected and reviewed as part of our budget process. This slide shows the revenue trends from assessments and fundraising over the years 2017 through 2024. The data reveals a static trend in assessments from 2017 till today, hovering around the $600,000 mark. Fundraising and other revenue sources experienced a notable dip in 2020 due to the suspension of community events related to the pandemic. I'm sorry, you'll see it online and it'll be much easier. This is just a comparison of the 2023 to 2024 SID member property values by class. And it shows, in general, bottom line, 136% increase in property values within the Special Improvement District. It also summarizes the math equation on how we derive what the annual SID payment is, which is the net taxable value of the property times Special Improvement District rate, which is 10.5%. In some instances, properties past 287 have a prorate and pay a portion of that, and then the annual SIP payment. Our average property value in the special improvement district now is approximately $3.5 million, and they would pay approximately $3,675 annually to the SIP assessment. This is a comparison pie chart of the average payment from 2023 to 2024. In 2023, the vast majority of properties had SIP payments under $1,000. Well, now there'll be a larger portion contributing higher payments from year to year. And that's additional information of what the average was in 2023 was approximately $1,484, and this 2024 is approximately $3,556. The Morristown Partnership expects diverse non-assessment revenue sources in 2024, totaling $695,000. The largest share comes from event sponsorships, followed by event participation and gift certificate sales, and streetscape contributions. Other sources include sales and advertising, individual giving, and event on-site revenue. These combined revenues support the financial stability of the partnership. We receive our SIP assessment on a quarterly basis with the tax. So when we produce community events and activities, this revenue comes in on a rolling basis. And it helps with our cash flow and also our contribution to the community through the programs and services that we provide. This is a trend history of SIP receivables since the year 2000. This is information from our QuickBooks that's available to us. Notably, in 2004 and 2005 marked significant peaks in receivables at $706 and $786,000 respectively, coinciding with the last revaluation. Since then, the receivables have been stagnant or in minor decline around that $600,000 range. So we're actually working with less money than we were working with in 2004, with slight fluctuations. In comparison, this is probably the most significant inflation with respect to our organization, the cost of the light pole. In the last 10 years, we've seen it increase probably 136% to acquire one of these. So as our revenue declines, our costs go up, and this is demonstrating that. So what's next? As part of our strategic planning, Morristown Partnership aims to amend the SID ordinance and member properties list, establish an annual meeting of the SID membership, define a tax appeal and operating reserve policies, and align future budget allocations with our strategic goals. We welcome your feedback on our programs and services through the Morristown Partnership Support Survey. Your responses will help us enhance the local business environment, adapt programs, and address specific concerns related to your property or business. The survey link was distributed via QR code in our recent election mailer to all known member addresses. For more information and to provide your input, please visit morristown-nj.org/survey. This is in response to a lot of our conversations from 2023 to receive important feedback from our constituency. And this has been live since March, and it will keep up and be a baseline for how our constituents can provide us anonymous feedback through this survey, and also help us gauge awareness, as we promote our organization. This budget, like the municipal budget, probably starts tomorrow for the 2025 budget. A lot of the themes that we spoke about began as part of our conversations in 2023, and our spending plan is was developed over the last year and a half. So in summary, our budget amounting to approximately $1.2 million is designed to enhance our operational efficiency and financial stability while maintaining our long-standing assessment rate. We aim to address both immediate needs and long-term goals through strategic investments and prudent fiscal management. We request your approval and support of this budget and are open to any questions or comments. Together, we can ensure the continued growth and success of Morristown's commercial district, benefiting all stakeholders and enhancing the community's overall quality of life. We invite you to reach out to our board at any time with questions, suggestions, or challenges at board@morristown-nj.org. Additionally, we hold public monthly meetings on the second Wednesday of each month at our office, and we would love for you to join us as often as possible. The next meeting is tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., so this is a doubleheader for us. We value your feedback as we move forward with these plans. Your input is crucial for refining our strategies and ensuring they align with the community's needs and goals. Thank you again for allowing us the opportunity to present, and we look forward to collaborating with all stakeholders to enhance Morristown's vibrant downtown. So I leave now if there's any questions, but myself and our board of trustees are available at any time for any specific questions related to the budget presented to you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thanks, guys.
Great job. Can you just do me a favor and turn that projector off? Thank you for the presentation. Please stay, just if there's any questions from town council members.
Couple questions. Did we vote on the budget, but it's not this evening, correct?
It is on tonight's agenda.
It's an ordinance, on second. It's an ordinance on second. Yes. Okay. Jen, I have a couple questions. Not today?
No, we're the next.
Oh, the next. Yeah, I didn't see it on.
Okay.
So should we hold questions to the next? Is that the? Yeah, that's because I didn't see it on the.
We have 20 days. 25th. They'll be right on.
Do we ask questions on the 25th, or do we ask questions now?
I think we ask questions now.
Good, we can do that.
Hey, on the inside.
Well, I'll ask questions.
Yes, please ask questions. Please.
Okay. Jen, couple of things. The revision to Schedule A, which is the properties that are included in the SID, there was some discussion about expanding that and or relooking at that schedule. Is that going to be done after the fact, after we adopt this budget?
Yes, that's correct. There's been no introduction of our proposed ordinance. We'd like to restart conversation. We've updated the information provided by the tax assessor's office that reflects the criteria that we have in our proposed ordinance, with the block and lots that would fit that proposed criteria. So we're able to review with administration, legal, and members of council that proposal. We've provided it to our council representative.
And now it's also my understanding that properties built after 1994 are not included in the SID currently?
So our ordinance has not been amended since 1995. So clerically, essentially, over the years with development combinations of properties, to be included as an S11 designated property, which is how the assessor designates special improvement district properties, they need to be listed by street address and block and lot on our ordinance as Schedule A. So our team, Cassidy and I have gone through the nearly 4,000 parcels on our tax roll and determine the criteria based on the types of properties that already pay into the special improvement district. So class 4s and vacant within this certain region, essentially.
So chances are there's going to be more properties added to Schedule A that will be subject to the SID tax.
That's correct, yes.
And when that happens, it's not the intention of the partnership to increase the rate at that time, or to, they may adjust the rate down.
Yeah,
it's not to grow the budget. Because what you're doing with this budget is you're taking full advantage of the reassessed value of the town.
That's correct. We're applying our rate.
You're not changing your rate.
That's correct.
Town, for example, lowered their rate to reflect a relatively low budget. Okay. So, but it's your intention that when you increase the property to the SID, you're not going to increase your budget. You're just going to spread it out amongst additional properties.
We're committed once the Schedule A is set and we are able to run evaluations and numbers based on what properties will be included. I think we've come to a fair and consistent assessment of properties that would be included within the special improvement district membership.
Second set of questions.
Yes.
Any business when they double their budget, okay, and they take on double the initiatives,
do you really think that you can accomplish this large of a step all in 1 year?
Much of it is to establish a reserve, and, the other items, light bulbs are expensive, but, yeah,
So, well.
the dollars can be spent.
Mhm. Okay, so it really becomes an issue of outreach to your membership. Of course, you wouldn't be here tonight if you didn't have full board support.
That's
You
correct.
Obviously have full board support. But it really is the shop owner on South Street, the shop owner on Morris Avenue, the shop owner on Washington Avenue. Have they been fully informed? Have you done outreach with these businesses? Do they understand what the board is requesting in this budget that the council's been asked to approve?
We haven't done, door-to-door outreach, when this budget was introduced, we posted that information on our website. It's a constant topic of conversation at our board meeting. I'm happy, to include it in our next business-to-business.
Well, what I would ask.
Yes.
if We're bringing this matter back on the 25th.
Mhm.
I would ask that you actually do some kind of communication as to the increase, because taxes are a very sensitive subject. Okay?
Yes.
But do some type of outreach where folks, anybody that's a member and subject to the tax, has an awareness, specific awareness that, that this is gonna be discussed and voted on the 25th this month. 25th? Is that right? 25th. So at least, people can't say they didn't know.
That communication I can be sent to our property ownership, which are the direct members of our organization and pay the tax assessment.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
But,
So how much was the increase of budget this year?
It's approximately $811,000.
Okay, and one of the things that you show there is that most of that is going to be for research.
Yes, sir.
Is anything else specific that is going to be done for businesses with the increase of the budget?
So I'm really excited about the data analytics platform that can provide a service to our business community that's can be tailored specifically to a parcel. For example, if a restaurant were to run I know one's coming up, a comedy hour. It's a seated dinner, and it's going to be held on a Tuesday evening between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. This particular data analytics platform can geofence that area, can put a little, area around it, and based on the traffic, we can know where they came from, how long they stayed, and where they went after. And that kind of tells a story of who their consumer is, what communities they're going to, and perhaps with that information, they can spend more advertising dollars in that particular area. The other things for the business community would be related to reporting as well as the annual meeting. And it's something that's really important to me and our board. We operate on the best information available to us. So when we know more about our business community, when they communicate with us what their needs are, we can adopt our programs and services. So I think by formalizing an annual meeting of our membership, where, maybe you can't get in until you take that survey, and provide us with some sort of feedback that we can report on, and have baseline metrics to see these are the things that they want us to do, and then, plan for them with the budgeting process, allocate dollars via our newly established committees, and then we can, accomplish them essentially. So we're really in that strategic planning stage, and I think we're making efforts to make sure that we are communicating with those individual businesses, and encouraging them. And I encourage all of you, when you guys are out and about in town, I get referrals all the time, so I appreciate that. To be able to field those calls, we do need to grow a little bit. There's 3 of us on our team with our interns, so we hope to grow with that and be able to service the more than 1,000 businesses that are within our special improvement district.
One of the things that I have mentioned and I'm advocating for is the reaching out of the businesses on the Spiritual Avenue, the Hispanic business more specifically. Is any plans or any way that can be done?
So I would really like to look to translation and or working towards a team member, if not full-time, part-time, that is bilingual. So at this time, we can understand and listen and can utilize digital tools to make translations. Some of the programs that we've come up have been able to do that. I know when we're working towards our digital tools on our website, translation, services with a button was one of my most important additions when we're updating our website. So when someone comes on, you can be able to select the language that is more comfortable for you and be able to implement those tools. So, all of our information would be accessible to anyone who needed it in the best way possible.
One of the landmarks of this town is diversity. And I think this will be very important for our town, because we don't want just one part of the businesses growing up and the other part perhaps even closing and leaving town.
Sure.
So I really, I'm pressing for that to you on the board. And also I think I was checking on your presentation on conference and educational events. I believe all across, not only within the Hispanic community, but all the businesses might need, events and educational events to grow their businesses and to find more information about the things that are related with small businesses in order to grow their businesses and to do better in town. That's why I'm asking the question of, with the increase of the budget, what other things can be done? I think Councilman Ayanakon asked the question of door-to-door, and I understand that your staff is, we can count it with one hand and we have too many fingers. But I think that perhaps finding some volunteers, college students and so on, and training them, visiting business will be good. The other day, I went to a new business here. I don't know if you already know it. It's called Ray Soul.
Love Ray Soul Coffee.
Did
yes.
you go there?
Mm-hmm.
You spoke with Valentina?
Valentina and her team, yep.
Good, because the first day that I went there, I told them about the partnership, and I told Valentina about you and about the partnership, and I think those type of connections and going in person to businesses is very important.
Sure. We probably see them before you guys see them out on the streets. Their doors open.
Okay.
So we work with small businesses for site selection, so knowing if a space is available, our personal connections with property owners may get them into that space, and trying to guide them through the municipal process, through the call. If a permit isn't ready, or they don't know which point of contact, we have that information because we've had the connections with the community for quite some time.
So I just want to make myself available for the connection with the Hispanic people. And I will try to find some young adults that
Thank you
help
for
with that, because I think that we need to really consolidate all the businesses in town and help them to grow. And I'm pro small business, and I would like to see more business, and I like to see every single business, small business in town to grow and to be successful.
I agree with you. And thank you for your assistance.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Just one question with the analytics tool that you mentioned, the local business owners. There's no additional cost to the business owner to be able to use that, is that correct?
So we would work as preliminary conversations with County College of Morris for like a data analytics intern. They can make requests essentially, and then we would have access. It's a totally in-house, with our login. We make requests basically. We'll be able to provide them that information.
With no additional cost to the business owner, correct?
Oh, that's correct.
Okay.
Yes, it's part of our everyday services.
Mr. Mayor, you have a comment?
Just a couple. Thanks, Jen, for coming and for the, wasn't too long, the presentation. Two things.
Yeah.
Your social media platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking to invest in more platforms other than what you're doing with so many different platforms out there? Do you have someone that's dedicated to your social media?
We do not have anyone dedicated to our social media.
That's probably something we should.
That's something as part of our marketing.
Yes. And the second thing is, as you know, the town is extremely exciting and vibrant 7 days a week. Used to be a little slower in the summer, if not. Do you have any long-term planning, I'm not asking you not to answer, but that's something you think about with the board, long-term planning on, maybe assisting the town cleaning? I know the green machine never gets used, or somehow partnering with the town to keep our sidewalks clean, the garbage, as we have a lot of people, from Spiegel Avenue all the way down to Morris, to Washington, to South Street. It's becoming very walkable, that maybe we can somehow work a program out. Since your budget will increase somewhat, I expect you will have tax appeals. I hope 300,000 is enough, and may have to bump that up a little bit. Something that long-term the board and you and your team can think about how we can partner in keeping the towns clean.
Mayor, those have been programs and services offered over the years from our organization. They have been the first to go because they're the most expensive for us to sustain. So it's definitely something, we have a map, we have a route, we have, thoughts and plans, and had even, it was last suspended in COVID. So I think with resources and making sure that it's above and beyond, municipal services and added benefit to our constituency, I think that we can devise a program that would be appropriate and beneficial to everyone.
I appreciate that. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, board, for coming.
Very cool.
I like it. So we know that we're going to move on to council liaison reports, and we know that the partnership is going to be meeting tomorrow. Councilwoman Lindsay, do you have a report? Councilman Russo?
MTA will meet next Wednesday on the 19th.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right, Margot, we will move to regular business, please.
Okay. Let's see, there are two ordinances for introduction this evening. Ordinance number O-18-2024, ordinance amending and supplementing chapter 3, police regulations, specifically chapter 3-1 noise, to the code of the town of Morristown.
I'll make the motion to introduce ordinance number O-18-2024.
Second.
Okay, are there any comments or questions from council? Comments?
Yeah.
Council President, I'd ask our Public Safety Director and representatives from the police department to speak about the noise ordinance that's being proposed tonight.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Ms. Barron. Chief Richardson is here with me. Also, Officer Colin Byrne, she's one of our certified noise enforcement officers, is here as well. Since the model noise ordinance was adopted in 2021, it's been proven for us to be impractical and ineffective. To give you an example, the vast majority of our complaints are loud music emanating from private property. Those types of complaints under the model noise ordinance require a noise enforcement officer to respond and to take a measurement with a sound meter. The problem with that, and the reason why I say it's impractical and it's ineffective, and Officer Birch could probably speak to it a lot better than I can too. For example, we'll have our weekly complaint in a bar area about noise complaint coming from loud music from a certain establishment. The training requires the officer to take a measurement, a baseline measurement, in a place above or adjacent to where the noise is occurring. We have never gotten cooperation from a resident allowing us into their apartment or dwelling to get that baseline measurement. Therefore, it becomes impractical for noise enforcement purposes. We have noise complaints again throughout town. Leaf blowers are obviously definitely starting to pick up, which we have a noise ordinance we're addressing. One thing that happened when the model noise ordinance was enacted was that garbage collection, the time frames were repealed under that ordinance. And our phones frequently blow up from residents who are irate that a garbage truck is coming to pick up garbage from a commercial property at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. That we don't have a mechanism to enforce that under the ordinance. So we did try, we had 2 certified noise enforcement officers, we did purchase the meter, but our officers have told us, the chief will tell you too, is that the input from our officers is the former ordinance gave us more flexibility. The plainly audible standard is sound law in every court throughout this country. And Eric Zwerling, who is the resident expert in the state of New Jersey, who trained Officer Birch, by the way, will also tell you the plainly audible standard is the way to go. In my initial report back in 2020, I recommended that we did not need it. Fast forward, here we are now in 2021, here again, and I still maintain that position. I think the former ordinance gives our officers flexibility in order to effectively and efficiently make a decision whether something violates the noise ordinance almost instantaneously. So it eliminates the model noise ordinance. And the model noise ordinance may work in certain communities, but specifically for us here in Morristown, it does not work. It's not practical.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions from council?
Yeah, I'll ask a question. Sure. Why not go in the other direction? Okay. Why not go in the other direction of adding to the ordinance? The ordinance provides, and I've done a lot of research on this, and I read the reports that you guys have generated. I've talked to some other towns. I've talked to some other councils from other towns. I think we're going in the wrong direction. I think you are absolutely correct that the ordinance needs to be changed to add an element to the police department to have an element of discretion. Especially when you get to those instances that I think former Councilman Armington described today, those instances of one time coming to a party, asking the party just politely to quiet down. And you guys do that, you do that very politely, and we appreciate the way you do that without offense. This is the way you're supposed to handle that, okay? But this is something different, and I think this is something that actually protects, for example, ongoing noise from mechanical equipment. We are becoming more and more of an urban center. Noise has become more and more of an issue. Going backwards is not the way to go. We need these types of regulations in the future. Whether it's mechanical noise on an adjacent property when that property opens up, or maybe when they change the HVAC, and a year they go to a cheaper piece of equipment than was there before. There's ways we can learn to use this technology and to use this enforcement, which is quite common throughout the towns, the model ordinance of the state. So instead of going backwards, I suggest we go forward. And I suggest what we do, because the state does allow you to amend the model ordinance, okay, to include more stringent or more provisions. It does, okay? And I've seen this also, I talked to you about this. I think we should work to actually add what you want to do into the ordinance itself. Rather than taking away the ordinance, add to the ordinance. Add that element of discretion that the chief is looking for, where they can go, say, hey, quiet down, and even maybe issue a ticket. Mind you, you're absolutely correct. It may be a weaker argument in court, but it's the discipline that you're looking to, not so much the fine, not so much the court. It's the muscle you're trying to add to that conversation. There's going to be instances where you're going to need this, okay? I've had property owners who actually were doing the sound checks themselves. And whenever you have that problem, you should actually talk with the ward rep, because we know these people, okay? And if they're saying, I live across the street, the apartment building, and we've been putting sound meters on our porch, it's a real life thing, okay? We can help. We can help you get that information for the enforcement, because it does become more objective. But I think you're going the wrong way, with all due respect, okay? I think rather than eliminating this, add to the ordinance what you guys want to do.
Mr. Machado?
Councilman Adams, I just want to add, what you said was correct. You can amend the model noise ordinance. However, that requires DEP approval to do so.
So we should start working.
Yes, so that's a process, and that can be time consuming and costly. We have the ability to repeal it in full, but we don't have the ability to amend it on our own without the.
David, with
So
all due
just for the
respect,
fact.
David, with all due respect, it took the former council 2 years to get this ordinance.
Right.
2 years, okay? Spending some time with it, amending it, and bringing it to the DEP, just like we did last time, is the way to do this.
I have a question. Mr. Irenicon spoke about mechanical equipment. You testified that neighbors complain about removing the big garbage containers. Is that considered mechanical equipment and the level of noise versus other mechanical equipment?
We could probably take a noise measurement, but we would have to be called to the scene at the time it's actually happening. So if we pull up and a garbage company is there removing garbage at, say, 4 o'clock in the morning, or between the former statute, the ordinance between 10 and 6, that's prima facie violation right there, that we can issue the summons, and we don't need a noise meter in order to do that.
That means that you will be more effective with the resolution as we are willing to.
Absolutely. Correct, yes, sir, Councilman. While the DEP model ordinance may work in other communities, and I would absolutely agree with that, our specific issues, I think, are a little bit different here. Again, I go back to maintain the majority of our complaints are loud music coming from private property, which requires a certified metered noise officer to go there to get a baseline measurement before they take the measurement where the actual noise is coming from. And also has to take into consideration wind speed, weather, barking dogs, planes flying overhead, background noise. And this is right from the training. Officer Birch could speak to the training that he received from Eric Zwirling, who is the foremost expert in noise enforcement in New Jersey. And if you wanted him to come here, he could probably tell you the same thing, because what I put in my report was what he told me. He's considered the expert.
Michael, stay calm, because we're not disagreeing.
No, that's how he
We're
gets.
saying, you know, I know.
Yeah.
Well, and I think.
He gets like that.
We've seen this.
No, I'm just trying to.
Yeah, we're all guilty of it sometimes. Yeah. But Michael, the point is, and I think the point that Pastor Silver is making is, we do look like, you helped us out with the dumpsters in back of the bars between the bars and the parking lot. You helped us with the Vail garbage. You go, you talk to people, they change behaviors. But those are what Stefan was referring to as one-time incidents. You handle them well. And the goal there is not necessarily always to issue a ticket. Because I think the other great thing about our town, the great thing about our law enforcement, the great way that administration handles things is we don't look for the ticket. You're not looking to actually issue a summons. You're looking to create a peaceful environment. And let me tell you, okay, because I've lived through this, and I had the same constituency you now have on South Street, okay? This was a big part, at least knowing that it was there, to quieting down South Street. And the complaints that we've had from the bars and restaurants, because of people working together and cooperating on noise, has reduced those complaints are a very small percentage of what they used to be.
I respectfully disagree, because we still get them every single
Well,
weekend.
it's awfully interesting, because tonight we're renewing liquor licenses. And tonight, and again, this is another thing, when we look at the violations, the one piece that then is missing when we consider these liquor licenses is the number of times that the police are called for. All we get is the violations. And that was an issue considered last year when we were renewing licenses. We said, okay, that's one thing, but how many times are we being called for? Okay, we didn't get that information for the liquor licenses. We're not gonna make an issue of it. But again, my position is I'm gonna vote no on the introduction of this. And I think we should go back, and I'll work with you on this, okay? Because this was, again, a 2-year process with a lot of people being elected based on this kind of issue, okay? On this council, and we'll work with you, okay? And see what we can do with the DEP to get it adjusted so that you guys can accomplish what you want to accomplish. And we also have the protections that the state allows us to exercise in this town.
Any other questions from council?
Question for Mr. Michelle.
Yes.
So, talking about the DEP process and everything, if we were to go back to it, not from our ordinance or whatever it is, what's the issue, if any, of not being approved by the DEP?
It's fine. I mean, there's no prohibition on just a straight repeal of the model ordinance. The question is if you're going to amend the ordinance, that's what the DEP requires.
If we put in any other ordinance besides the model ordinance, do they require approval?
No.
So what's the point of having no approval?
That's what I understand.
No, he's asking the question, why do we have a model? Why does the state have a model ordinance? The model ordinance is out there to allow a mechanism for enforcement.
Yes, they have an ordinance that they believe is the state has put forth their guidance or what they believe to be the best ordinance. It may not be the best ordinance for Morristown, but they believe it's the best ordinance statewide. And I think what the director stated is that it may not be the best ordinance for Morristown.
Different than what, Jonathan's saying, though, is the state DEP says if you have a ordinance, it has to be approved by DEP.
No, they're saying if you adopt our ordinance and wish to amend our ordinance, you require our approval. That's what the DEP is saying.
That's different than information I've read on the DEP's website that says, in order for your ordinance to be approved, it needs to follow the model ordinance or be more stringent.
Be approved by whom?
The DEP.
Yes, exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right, so,
And if
what
you're
happens if
gonna
you're not approved?
You're not approved, that's fine, it's still enforceable law. It's just not the model ordinance anymore.
So there's no benefit whatsoever to being approved by DEP?
No, I would recommend to you that, I don't see, I think you have to look at the community, I'm sorry.
Because I've done a lot of reading.
As have I, and I've dealt with other communities who have appealed. You have to look, there's a model ordinance that exists, some municipalities have it, some don't. It's really, you have to look at your community and see if it makes sense. But beyond that, I can't see any other value to it from a legal perspective.
So administration's gonna just weigh in for a second, and I don't usually weigh, let the council do their debate, and let them vote up or down on what they think is the right thing to do. We would not have been supportive of this if we didn't think that, it was the right thing to do. One of the things I've learned in a number of years is the boots on the ground are the police officers and the people who deal with this every day. And when I hear from residents that say it's constant loud issues in certain areas of town, and I ask the police chief, and he goes, yeah, we went there and tried to get the reading from the department, can't happen, this happens a lot. You can't do it by the decibel reading, however, if you talk to a police officer, and they go by, and they get out of their car, and it's loud, and they go open, in places where it's loud, and they deem it just by their own hearing that it's loud, they can do something about it. They can go in and say, it's too loud. You close down. They don't quiet it down. They can write a ticket. They can write a noise ordinance ticket, and it can be enforced and fined in court, correct?
Correct.
So, if it's not working, it's not working. I get Councilman Iannacone's position on it. They worked hard on it. I get it. But it's a couple years now in the making, it's not working. It's that simple, not a complicated issue. Okay, it's not working. If it was working, we wouldn't be here with the police officer, the chief of police, and the public safety director. It's that simple. If it worked, every time there was a noise complaint, they had a decibel reading, oh, you gotta shut it down. It's not the reality of that ordinance. It's the same thing with leaf blower ordinance. We talked about in nauseam about enforcement. I get it, but I'm just saying we wouldn't have had this in front of you guys if we didn't think it was necessary. It gives the police officers more authority and tool and scrutiny to do their job.
And I'm saying, give it to them by amending the ordinance and making it stricter, as opposed to taking away this right. I'll give you an example.
Or we could do it this way.
Because you helped me with
You
this one.
repeal it,
You helped me with this one.
and then look at it in 6 months or a year, and then if it doesn't work, then we do it.
No, because it took us too long to get here. And I'll just use the example of mechanical equipment on the roofs. Okay, we should have been using the meters for that.
But we did
Yeah,
use
but
the meter.
Councilman, we did. We had,
did.
That's
we did,
exactly,
and I'll
you
tell you,
did.
it didn't, but it didn't violate the noise ordinance based on the
Bullseye.
current. That's what
So
I'm,
it proved wrong.
but
No.
you're proving my point though.
Yeah.
So we
No,
have,
I mean, if you
Councilman,
had the
if I can
meters,
finish
you may
my,
go over the meter.
if I can finish my
Let the
statement. We recently had a mechanical equipment complaint not far from town hall.
Mhm.
And we had our noise officer go out multiple times a day, including in the middle of the night, using our noise meter and the equipment and the meter decibel readings, and it didn't violate our ordinance. So we didn't have any, it did not violate our ordinance, it did not violate our
That's
ordinance,
okay,
council.
that means it worked, the process worked, and there's
But
no
we're still
sense.
getting complaints from the Councilman, if I can finish what I'm saying.
Yes, please.
But we're still getting complaints from the residents about the noise from the mechanical equipment.
Mhm.
If we had the ordinance that we're proposing, then the disturbance from the noise from the equipment, even if it doesn't violate the decibel readings that's in the ordinance, we could still issue the violation and get the property owner to repair their equipment.
So David, play this out.
It's a plain disturbance
very simple. So
rule
play
as
this-
opposed to something that's an absolute rule.
David, play this out. You issue it in that instance, okay, mechanical equipment didn't hit 55 decibels during the day, didn't hit 60 decibels in the day, 55 decibels in the day, they issue a ticket. They hire a lawyer, they come to the municipal court, and they said, we did readings, it doesn't violate the DEP standards. What happens to the
Are we under the old ordinance or our current ordinance?
Under the instance here with Jillian, without our ordinance, that current ordinance.
With the current ordinance?
Without the current,
not-
without the
without-
current, yes.
Okay, so if we reverse the old ordinance, that would be, we could go to court, we could get a fine, we would win that case under the old standard, we would not win under the current standard.
So, I agree, but I'm still sticking with my position that we should go the direction that rather than weaken the situation, we strengthen the power. Give you guys what you want.
I think it strengthens
But
it,
don't
not
take away, it does strengthen your ordinance, okay? But, I'm gonna follow up with you, I'm gonna start asking you how many tickets and how many violations that.
And I'll end with this. We had a community meeting last night with Councilman Chris Russo, Jillian and I. What was the question that was brought up on the noise?
Now you put me on the spot.
I put it on the spot. How come we can't do anything about all those trucks backing up, with all that loud noise in the middle of the night? Because there is no ordinance that does anything with that anymore, because you took it away. That was in the community meeting last night on Bud Street. Let me tell you, there was quite a few men and people out there. Wanted to know that answer to that question, and Jillian answered it just like that. And they went, what? You took that away?
Again,
I know.
I'm gonna vote no, because it's a better way of doing this. This was the quick and easy way, no offense.
No, this is.
Quick and easy way, it's a better way of doing it. It was a long time to get here. It took us a long time to raise the awareness where you could have a debate about noise in this town, because it was not a local debate. This was the solution that this town do not go backwards.
I think that all of us here are advocating and voting for quality of life.
Yes.
And what appears to be more laxative rule becomes the more strict. In practicality, if we vote today yes, we're going to the more strict way, not in theory, but in practicality. And that's what we want. We want that as the officer goes there, he can enforce and people can obey the ordinance and become more careful about making noise.
With all due respect, I think you're right and you're wrong. You could also make the current ordinance, which creates the legal baseline, you could actually strengthen that ordinance rather than throwing it out. Okay?
Can we hear from Officer Birch, since you're standing here, just if you wanna say any comments or?
I believe that the state model is effective in certain places of town. I don't believe it is here for the majority of noise complaints that we do get.
Effective in those.
Thank you.
Yes, but not here.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Chief, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
On the introduction of ordinance O-18-2024, Councilwoman Foster. Councilman Anacone.
No.
Councilwoman Lindsay.
Yes.
Councilman Philipchuk.
No.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Councilman Umbria.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance O-18-2024 was properly taken by title and will be considered further after public hearing on June 25th. Ordinance number O-19-2024, ordinance amending the code of the town of Morristown, chapter 7 traffic, section 7-14, parking prohibited at all times on certain streets.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-19-2024.
Second.
Are there any comments or questions from members of council? Okay, on the introduction of ordinance O-19-2024, Councilman Foster. Councilman Iannaccone.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay.
Yes.
Councilman Flipchuk.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Umbreak.
Yes.
Ordinance O-19-2024 has been introduced properly by title and will be considered further after a public hearing on June 25th. There are 4 ordinances for public hearing and adoption this evening. The first one being ordinance O-14-2024, bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements in and by the town of Morristown and the county of Lawrence, New Jersey, appropriating $2,665,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,530,000 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number O-14-2024.
Second.
At this time, I'll open the floor for a public hearing on ordinance O-14-2024 only. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any comments or questions from council on the adoption of ordinance O-14-2024? Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilman Iannaccone?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Flipchuk?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Umbreak?
Yes.
Ordinance is adopted. Ordinance O-15-2024, ordinance appropriating $749,000 from the Sewer Capital Improvement Fund for various sewer improvements in and by the town of Morristown and the county of Lawrence, New Jersey.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number O-15-2024.
Second.
At this time, I'll open the floor for public hearing on ordinance O-15-2024. None, I'll close the public hearing. Any comments or questions from council on the adoption of ordinance O-15-2024? Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilman Iannaccone?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Flipchuk?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Umbreak?
Yes.
Ordinance is adopted. Ordinance O-16-2024, ordinance for the honorary street naming for William Butchie Barber Jr. at the location of Flagler Street and Clyde Potts Drive.
Mr. Minchella?
Mr. President, I would recommend a motion in the second at this time.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, I now recommend a motion to amend the ordinance, to reflect, Flagler Street and Marvin Drive. There's a motion, a second.
Yes.
On the amendment.
Yes, I will make that motion.
I second it.
Madam Clerk, we can have a roll call on the motion to amend.
The motion to amend, O-16-2024, Councilwoman Foster? Councilman Iannaccone?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Flipchuk?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Umbreak?
Yes.
Okay,
Now we can proceed to a public hearing on this ordinance and then vote as amended.
as amended. Okay, thank you. At this time, I'll open the floor for a public hearing on ordinance O-16-2024 as amended. And now I'll close the public hearing on the adoption of ordinance O-16-2024 as amended. Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilman Iannaccone?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Flipchuk?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Umbreak?
Yes.
Motion carries. There are 10 resolutions on the agenda. Are there any that members of the council would like to pull for separate consideration?
17.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm jumping ahead. Ordinance O-17-2024, an ordinance amending and supplementing the code of the town of Morristown, chapter 7 traffic, section 40.2, handicap parking on streets and private residences, to add a dedicated handicap parking space for a resident of 45 Potts Drive.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number O-17-2024.
Second.
At this time, I'll open the floor for a public hearing on ordinance O-17-2024 only. Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Council, have any comments or questions on the adoption of ordinance O-17-2024? Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilman Iannaccone?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Flipchuk?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Umbreak?
Yes.
Ordinance is adopted. Okay, as I said, there are 10 resolutions on the agenda for adoption. Are there any that members of council would like to pull for separate consideration?
I have, 105. I'd like to pull, and I just want to make a comment about all of it, one, so I don't want to pull it.
Okay.
But I think one of the important things is what I mentioned previously. Every year we go and we approve all these licenses. And one of the pieces of information that I do think lacks is how many times police are actually called to the establishment. It's not so much what we get from Margo. Margo gives us the violations, okay? It does not give you a full picture, and we've been asking for that information. Now, calls do come in, I don't know if the data systems are there, I'm sure they are.
It should be.
But
It should be.
should
Calls
be.
for service should be.
But we're not gonna hold up, I don't wanna hold up any of the licenses, I don't wanna hold up any of the discussion tonight. But I would really, next year, I'll go through each license, we'll make us all vote on it one by one. Okay, we've gotta have the information, the real picture of how often police are called.
Right, can we have that data moving forward?
I will speak with the police department, but I believe that it could be there.
Okay.
I don't know any reason why.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Yes.
107.
Okay. With that, I would ask for a motion to adopt resolution numbers R-99 through R-103, 2020, I'm sorry, R-104, -2024, R-106, -2024, and R-108, -2024.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Okay, on the adoption of those resolutions, Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Anacone.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay.
Yes.
Councilman Flipchuk.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Umbreak.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-105, -2024, resolution authorizing renewal of plenary retail consumption licenses 2024-2025.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Councilman Anacone.
Boy, that's becoming a real expensive part of town, isn't it? Jillian, before we go, this is an amendment to because every time we dig it over there, it seems like it's costing us more money. This is on 105 is Ford Road?
No, this is.
Oh.
105's a liquor license.
Because they were renumbered, I'm looking at the old agenda.
It was 106.
I meant 106.
We already voted in favor of one.
Yeah, but, my agenda that I work on.
You voted it right, but if we need to hear from Andy.
You want, I'll talk to you. We're gonna do it, but. I'll let you
In the
know.
long run, it saves us money.
Oh, I know it does, but.
I asked him the same question, and he explained it to me, but Jillian couldn't explain it to me, so Anthony explained it.
I think we've amended that, this is the fourth time
Yeah,
we're
well, that's
amending that
good.
contract.
It's a big project.
Big
but-
project.
Yeah.
I don't, we're way off.
We're right off,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Actually, I got it.
Yeah, let's vote on 105. Hold it. Second reading.
On the adoption of resolution R-105-2024, Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Anacone.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay.
Yes.
Councilman Flipchuk.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Umbreak.
Yes.
Resolution R-107-2024, resolution denying Ooma Flowers NJ LLC's request for a second one-year renewal for a local retail cannabis business license.
I'll make a motion for resolution R-107-20.
Second.
Any comments or questions from council? On the adoption of resolution R-107-2024, Councilwoman Foster. Councilman Anacone.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Lindsay.
Yes.
Councilman Flipchuk.
No.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
And Council President Umbreak.
Yes.
Motion carries. R-107-2024 is adopted.
Okay, we have no unfinished old business, but we do have new business.
Yes, at this time, I will open the floor for nomination for appointment to the Morristown Housing Authority, looking for a resident commissioner to be appointed to an unexpired term ending September 4th, 2026.
I'd like to nominate Mr. John Blanchard.
Second.
Are there any other nominations? I will close the nominations. on the appointment of Mr. Blanchard to, resident commissioner of the MHA for an unexpired term, September 4, 2026. Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilman Iannicone?
Yes.
Councilman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Flipchuk?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Umbreak?
Yes.
Mr. Blanchard is hereby appointed resident commissioner to the MHA for an unexpired term ending September 4th, 2026.
All right, we'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?